I fear that I will mess it up. We don't wanna have a saggy neck, do we? I feel like I got such quick hands. You look like a freak. Comb the brows, nice, good little brows.
It's game time and I'm up one. Name something I ain't done. Name a body that's my type. Air Jordan, I'll take flight. I'm next level, I'm franchise. I'm top tier, I'm that guy.
Good morning, buff babes, and welcome back to another video. If you don't know who I am, I'm juliarene, and I'm going to be showing you my skincare routine and my makeup routine and answering your most asked questions all together in one video. So hit the subscribe button, turn your post notifications on because I'm taking everybody to my Road to Pro series. Do it now. Only half of you are subscribed. Come on, people. So first, let's get into the skincare. Okay, so first, I make sure that my face is completely clear of any makeup. So my face is clear of makeup right now. I use the Mary Kay oil-free, where is it? There you go. Makeup remover. This is literally the best makeup remover in the entire world. I've been using it for such a long time. And then I don't use anything special, guys, like really nothing special. And then I'm just using this oil-free face wash from Neutrogena to wash my face. So let's do that. Now, after you dry off your face, I am going to use some of the Facial Mist Witch Hazel. Right here, I'm gonna put it on one of these pads because you think that all of your makeup is off, but it isn't. Because this, by adding this extra step, you'll see how much makeup you still have on your face. See, there's still some on there. After that, we're going to go with the Time Wise Repair Mary Kay Moisturizer. This has SPF in it. Right here, upwards motions when you're putting skincare on. And also, don't forget your neck. We don't wanna have a saggy neck, do we? No, we do not. All right, now let's bake this face. So first, what I'm gonna be using is the best primer in the entire world. I don't care what anybody says. It is the Milk Hydro Pro Primer. It's freaking amazing. I do about 2 pumps. It's very, very sticky, and that's what you want with a primer because you want the product to stay on your face. So let's answer a couple really quick questions. So a lot of people ask, how tall are you? What is your ethnicity? What zodiac sign are you? And did you always live in Austin? So for the first one, I am 5'2". My ethnicity is Hispanic and Italian. And my zodiac sign is a Pisces. I'm a little fishy, little fishy.
I'm Squidward, I'm Squidward, 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 Squidward.
Did I always live in Austin? No, I was actually born in San Antonio, but I've always lived in Texas. So basically, now, after we put the primer on, what we're going to do is first use this Tarte Creaseless Concealer right here. And the color is 40N Tan. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this on my troubled areas. So under my eyes, where is it? Under my eyes, right here. So I'm using this basically as a base. So any of the areas where you feel like makeup rubs off first, which for me is like my forehead and like my nose. And then after that, I'm gonna go in with a beauty blender and just kind of blend it out. Another question that I have is, what lessons do you want your followers to learn from your entire prep experience? That's a good question. I want you guys to feel motivated by the prep experience, and I want you to feel like there's literally nothing that you can't do. You know, I want to show you that what seems to be impossible can actually be done. And I also want y'all to learn a little bit about binge eating. You know, y'all gave me such good response from the last video about binge eating that it's just something that I'm really passionate about and I feel the need to share. Next, we're going to use a foundation, the Fenty Beauty Foundation in the color 345. So I'm gonna put this on my beauty blender. I'm gonna do about 3 pumps, and we are gonna put this everywhere. Oh, 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 oh. I feel like I got such quick hands. And then the next question that I have for you is, what made you get into competing? Good question. So I would say that I was living the lifestyle for quite some time. I was very strict with my diet. I was very routine and regimen with my training and just very, very focused. And that kind of just seemed like the next step. I was surrounded by a bunch of people that were bodybuilders and all my friends were, and it was actually something that I wasn't going to do, but then I started getting really passionate about it and I was like, oh, I wanna do this. It was kind of like the next level after where I was, and I wanted to be challenged a little bit more. Next, we're going in with the NARS Focus Radiant Creamy Concealer in the color medium 3. And I'm gonna put a little bit of that right here just to highlight the under eye area right here. I'm basically using this as a undercover highlighter. And then at the tip of my nose, down the bridge, a little bit right there. And we gonna blend. Not yet. Now, Revolution Conceal and Define. This is like a concealer, but I use it as a contour, and it's super cheap. I'm gonna use this little baby one to blend this out. I wanna answer another question. So this one says, how much pre-workout do you take a day? So I take 1 scoop of pre-workout a day, usually only on my lifting day, so that's 5 times a week. I take 1 scoop 5 times a week before I lift. The First Form Project 1 pre-workout is so good. So now we're going to use the same blender that we used for the foundation. We're gonna use it to blend the contour out more. Now, gonna blend out the lighter concealer. Now that we are all blended, it's time to set it. This is the NARS Translucent Crystal Loose Powder. So it's just clear, and I'm gonna grab this tiny one and I'm gonna use it right under my eye. So I'm just going to set this. I'm gonna look a little crazy. Now we're going to go in with the Hello Happy Powder Foundation in the color 9. And I'm gonna use a pressed brush like this. This is a really good question, this next question. It says, what do you fear the most in the weeks getting closer to your show? I would say I don't even want to put this out into the universe, but it's just genuinely what I think, is that I fear that I will mess it up and binge eat. But I also fear that I might not be ready in time, but these are just normal things that I feel like a lot of bodybuilders feel, but I just don't attach myself to any of these feelings or thoughts because they're not gonna benefit me. Next, I'm gonna go in with the Fenty Beauty bronzer in the color Caramel Cutie with this big brush. Now that we're done with bronzer, I'm gonna do another little contour with the Hula Toasted with this angled brush. So I'm gonna go very light upwards motions. Now, grab a brush that has, you know, either a little bit of the powdered foundation or is just bare, and then use that to blend it more. Now let's add some blush. So we're gonna use the Kat Von D blush in Poppy. This is very pigmented. So I just use a little, look at that, and just dab it off a little. And then circular patty motions right here. Anyways, so another question, I like this one. What helps you cope with the stress of competing? I am also about to compete. So one thing that I tell myself is that I chose to do this. I chose to put myself in this really difficult situation. So I am in complete control of how I respond to this stressful situation. One thing I also like to tell myself is that the more stress that I put my body in, the more likely that my fat loss and my body won't show up the way that I want it to. Seriously, last prep, there was a point in time where I was stressing so much about how my body was looking if I was going to be ready that I stopped losing weight. I was doing everything correctly. Zach, my coach, was doing everything he needed to do too. And then once I literally just let it go and say, whatever happens is supposed to happen, I can only control what I can control, I swear, I started losing weight. Now, I'm gonna do the Juvia's highlighter. I don't know what color this is, guys, I'm sorry, but it's like, it's pretty gold. I'm gonna get a little baby brush, and I'm gonna do the tip of my nose. This next question is a really good question. It says, how are you going to go from 150 to stage weight in a month or so? So when you guys are seeing this, I will be about 7.5 weeks out. So that's a long time. And also, all I can do is follow the plan, show up every single day, do what I need to do, and let everything fall into place. You know, it is really hard right now to gauge what my weight is going to be on stage because I put on a lot of muscle. I also got boob implants, so it's kind of hard to judge. So right now we're just going off of what we see and how my body is looking, and we're doing the body fat scans, and everything is going exactly according to plan. Sometimes there is a fear that I won't be ready, but I know that if I keep humoring that fear, then it's not gonna be good for me, you know? So now I got a glow, highlight glow. You're probably wondering, Julia, when the heck are you gonna do your eyebrows? Because you look like a freak. So next we're gonna do eyeshadow. So this is a palette from MAC that I created myself because I like warm colors. So I just picked out all the favorite colors that I liked and I put them in a palette. So I'm gonna use this brush. I don't do anything fancy with my eyeshadow. I just use like the same brush. Just use like my highlighter brush and then this brush. So this brush, I'm gonna go in with this color, which is Red Brick right here. Blob it all on there, blob. This is hard. Now we're gonna go in with this color, which is Couture Copper. I'm gonna do that in this part and answer another question. This one says, how many times do you eat per day? And the answer is 6. I eat 6 meals a day. Why? It's just what I prefer. I enjoy eating every couple of hours because I like to eat. I like the process of eating. So splitting up my meals in smaller portions and eating them 6 times a day is what I like to do, you know? And the next question is, when competing, Does weight matter, or is it more so body fat and muscle mass? Body fat and muscle mass for sure. The weight isn't necessarily matter as much, and honestly, that's kind of just what I say about fitness in general. Like, I would focus more on how you're feeling and your body fat and your muscle mass and how you're looking when you see yourself in the mirror, rather than focusing on the scale. The scale doesn't have all the information. So now we have it under our eyes a little bit. So what we're going to go into next is eyes and my brows. First, we will comb the brows. We comb the brows so they're in the place they need to be. Comb the brows, nice, good little brow. I pet the brow. Kat Von D, it is the dark brown eyebrow pomade, and look how much I have left. It looks like nothing, but there's a little bit on the side, so that's what we're gonna use. And we're going to use a angled brush. So how do the makeup people do that? They put their hand, am I doing it right? And then it has this on the end too. So I'm gonna grab a little bit of this product, what's left of it, and I'm going to put it on my finger, and I'm gonna flatten the product on my brush so it makes my brush flat. I am going to try to show you the best way that I can so that you can see, but let's see how this works. Next question, how do you train on your period days? So I get asked that a lot, and honestly, I don't train any different. I train the same way. And the only thing that's really different is that if it's like a really hard period day, I just feel more fatigued, faster. I'm trying to focus, so I'm bringing it. I got a little bit of the brow. Yeah, I don't do anything different. Like, nothing changes, because I don't think you need to train differently just because you're on your period. Okay, now that we have the eyes and my brows on, I'm gonna take the product, and I drew these lines right under here so that it brings them out a little bit more, because I am missing hair there. And I have a product on here, and I'm gonna make a flicky motion, flick of the wrist, to get my eyebrows to look more furry, I guess. See, I made the flicks. Next, we're gonna do the hardest thing, and that is the eyeliner. We're using the NYX. Can you see? Eyeliner. The tip looks like this. Ta-da! And then we'll just connect it. Okay, now that we have our wings on and I brushed my eyelashes, I have eyelash extensions, we are going to put a little bit of mascara on the bottom lashes, which I've been using this for years, Carbon Black waterproof, because my eyes are really watery. And we're gonna answer a couple more questions. So this one says, what is your biggest goal in life? I would say the biggest one is to end up on the Olympia stage for wellness. The next question is, what are your go-to carbs when you are cutting? I would say my carbs are relatively like the same when I'm cutting and when I'm bulking. The only difference is I use oats, sweet potato, white or brown rice, and I feel like I'm missing something. That's basically it. This is the MAC Powder Kiss Liquid Lip Color in the color Sorry Not Sorry. So I'm gonna put this on. Pretty. And the next question, what do you recommend for beginners who want to bodybuild and weight train? I would say if you are wanting to be like a bodybuilder, I would recommend that you train, eat, sleep, breathe like you're a bodybuilder for a while until you actually decide you want to compete, because it is a big commitment. This is what it looks like when it's done. But that's basically it, guys. That is my face routine. And I will leave you with one more question. This one says, your way of thinking when it comes to giving up. I start thinking about, look how far you have come. Do you really want to give up now? There are way harder things in this world, and if this is the hardest thing that you have to do today, then you'll be damn lucky. And giving up is not an option. Trying my best every single day is the only option that I want to have. I love you so much, and you are more powerful than you think. Freaking worked up an appetite making that video. So hungry.